take a look at this brand new phone from OPPO. It's the OPPO A96 and it is a rather simple phone with a lot of traits from the higher end cousins, but the price of the OPPO A96 is only at 1,299 ringgit. So in today's video, let us share our opinion with you about this phone. For the review of the OPPO A96, since this is a simple phone after all, we'll still be sticking with our usual 6 points that makes up a smartphone. And we will start off by talking about the design, because the OPPO A96 still uses the iconic OPPO glow color, and as you can see here, it has this kind of sparkly finish at the back and it changes color depending on what angle that you're looking at. From what I can see, it changes from somewhere between blue to green to a peachy kind of red color. And it also feels really amazing because they're using this very fine matte finish at the back. And yet the OPPO A96 isn't exactly a big phone too. And that makes this phone really nice to hold, and I truly appreciate the curvature from the back edges here into the phone of the frame, but still retaining a flat display at the front. The display on this phone is a 6.59-inch IPS LCD screen with up to 90Hz refresh rate at the resolution of 2412 by 1080 pixels. While some people might complain that the bezels of this phone is not symmetrical since the bottom bezel is a lot thicker than the top, I have to say that it's actually fine. In fact, it's actually more ergonomic this way because everything is lifted up and your thumb can reach that part of the bottom of the screen a lot better. However, having an IPS LCD screen at this price point might be a bit difficult to accept since other phones within this price range is using an AMOLED screen or OLED for that matter. But don't get me wrong, the IPS LCD screen on this phone still looks good, it's just not as good as OLED. And then comes the performance of this phone. Our version of the OPPO A96 here comes with the Snapdragon 680 chipset, and we have already tested it in other phones, and overall this chipset is good enough for day-to-day tasks. But I don't think you can run games like Genshin Impact at a comfortable 30 FPS, even with that 8 gigs of RAM. But with the 8 gigs of RAM though, that means the OPPO A96 can literally multitask like nobody's business. Yet, we can further expand the RAM with the RAM Plus feature, or RAM expansion for this case. It's not going to be as fast as the real RAM, but it's there if you need it. As for the cameras of this phone, I have to say the OPPO A96 did the right thing here. It does look like there's 2 cameras at the back, but like many other mid-range smartphones these days, only one of them can be used to take pictures because the other one it's a depth sensor. But that's not the point today because this phone can actually take some surprisingly good pictures. Take a look at this shot that I took randomly. They all look pretty okay and nothing too extravagant in terms of vibrancy or contrast. It's just pleasant to look at. The night shots though is a little bit noisy, but I'm kinda expecting that anyway. As for the battery life, this phone comes with a 5000 mAh battery, and I have no idea where they stuff it because this phone is small and also really thin at the same time. Anyway, the battery life of this phone is very good, lasting for about 16 hours in our battery life test, and that is not surprising since the Snapdragon 680 chipset is very low powered anyway. As for the charging time, this phone comes with a 33W Super VOOC charger, and it can reach from 15 to 100% in about an hour's time, and that is pretty typical for a phone with 5000 mAh battery and 33 watts charging. And now comes the software. The OPPO A96 is coming with the ColorOS 11.1 and Android 11. Truth be told, it's a bit dated piece of software right now, and I have no idea why it's shipped without ColorOS 12 and Android 12. Anyway, ColorOS 11.1 is still pretty good to use. The user experience is decent since there's no annoying settings menu, random timers or app scanners that pop up when you install apps through Google Play Store. However, the OPPO A96 is plagued with a lot of bloatware out of the box, and there are many ads pushed via notifications from built-in apps like the Team app, the OPPO App Market, and also the Game Center. I eventually just muted everything. So, at the end of the day though, I think that for the price of 1,299, the OPPO A96 is indeed a tad bit higher in terms of price compared with its competitors with these kind of similar specs. However, the user experience offered by the OPPO A96 is a lot better than its rivals. Even the camera, Though there's only one camera, it just takes good pictures overall, and I would say the OPPO A96 is a good choice if you're looking for a phone within this price range. And that's it. That's all we have to share with you about this phone, and I'll see you guys in the next video.